Thank you, Leonie. Ready?
Yes.
Shall we start?
Please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this info session of the Tourbit Digital Acceleration. We really thank you for being here today, and we really would like to encourage you to apply for the call for proposal of the Digital Acceleration Program of Tourbit. So I'm Blanca Cross. I'm the head of European projects from the Catalan Tourist Board and the coordinator of the Tourbit Project. So before to move on, we are going to record this session. And also, if you have any question, do not hesitate to use the chat. Okay, so next. The agenda for today is first to give you an introduction of the Tourbit project and what is the Digital Acceleration Program. Second is to go into detail on the call for proposals, the eligibility criteria and functioning, and a demo of the application procedure. Third, you will meet your local contact point. And finally, we will give some insights on the evaluation and post-award procedure, including the matchathon. So today, we will dedicate 1 hour, more or less, to explain the Tourbit Digital Acceleration Program, especially the call for proposal for the selection of tourism SMEs to be awarded financial support. The session we will try to finish in 1 hour, but some of the Tourbit partners, we will remain online for 30 minutes more, in case you would like already to share your questions. Also, I would like to inform you that since today until the 5th of April, we will organize every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a question and answer session where we will briefly explain the program and have time to reply to your questions. So do not worry if today you still have some doubts. You can wait until next week's session, or even better, contact your local contact point. In the end, what we want is that you feel confident and comfortable when applying for this call. We want to make it as easier as possible for you. So let's start with the Tourbit project. So who we are? We are a public-private partnership. Tourbit project is composed by 8 partners located in 7 countries around Europe. Partners, as you can see, are the Catalan Tourist Board as the lead partner, then the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, and from France, Paris and Co. From Slovenia, Arctur, from Belgium, Hub Brussels, from Iceland, the Iceland Tourism Cluster, from Finland, the Lapland University of Applied Science, and from Portugal, NES, the Tourism Innovation Center. So next, please. So what is the aim of the project? Our goal is to support tourism SMEs in accelerating their digitalization and innovation by fostering their skills, knowledge, and relations. We are co-funded by the European Programme for the Competitiveness of Tourism SMEs, what is called the COSME program. Signed January, so the project starts January 2022 and will finish in 2024. So next, please. What is the Digital Acceleration Program? It's a program for selected tourism SMEs located in the Tourbit destinations, which will have access to knowledge, receive financial support for the implementation of their digital project, and be in touch with the transnational network of experts. So next, please. With the present call for proposal, we want to select innovative digitalization projects proposed by you, by tourism SMEs. The call was opened the 1st of February and will end the 5th of April 2023. So next, please. As a call for proposal, here I'm going to give you an overview. What is the goal of the call? The Tourbit project is willing to support the implementation of innovative digitalization projects proposed by tourism SMEs, and how the SMEs will implement the project. The Tourbit partners will select up to 62 digitalization projects proposed by tourism SMEs located in the following Tourbit territories: Catalonia in Spain, France, Slovenia, Belgium, Lapland in Finland, Iceland, and Portugal. The selected tourism SMEs will receive direct financial support grants to implement their proposed digitalization project. The grant will be used to finance the support of a service provider such as mentors, experts, consultant, or technology or innovation providers. The program will last 10 months, will start the 15th of June 2023 and will end by the 15th of April 2024. Next, please. What is the financial support foreseen for the tourism SMEs? The grant will consist on a fixed amount depending on the territory of origin. As you can see, the SMEs from Belgium, Finland, in Lapland and Iceland will get up to 9,000 euros, and the SMEs from Catalonia in Spain, Slovenia, France, and Portugal, 8,000 euros. Who will deliver the financial support to SMEs? SMEs selected in each of the territories will receive funding from their respective Tourbit partners located in their territory, that as I presented to you previously. So this will be your local contact point on your local organization. And how the SMEs will justify the expense? The financial support is provided in the form of lump sum. This means that the justifications of the expenses is done based on your project results and outputs. The proposed activities and project objective needs to be in a cost-efficient relation to the fixed funding amount. Next, please. Can a tourism SME apply to the call for proposal benefit from other activities from the Tourbit project? Yes, of course. Yes, they can. The call for proposal is embedded in a larger set of activities and service offered by Tourbit. SMEs are encouraged to participate to take full advantage of the Digital Acceleration Programme. And there are two concrete activities that are compulsory for tourism SMEs to apply for the call for proposal. These two compulsory activities are the assessing your digital maturity by replying to the Digital Readiness Index and to join the Tourbit community. You have all this information in the website of Tourbit that we are going to share through the chat, so you can find all these specific activities. So next, please. So as you can see here, as a summary, what is compulsory is to fill the DRI, the Digital Readiness Index, know your state of digitalization, and join the Tourbit community. And at the same time, once you've done that, you have the possibility to participate in the different capacity building that we are offering as webinars and online courses. So it depends on your level of digitalization, you will join ones or another's. Also, through our website, you have the possibility to discover trends on top technologies applied to tourism business. So currently, we are in the moment at the present when you can present your digital acceleration program and get funding. And once you've done this, you will have the chance to participate to the matchathon, find a service provider that can solve your challenge. And then you can implement your project with the support of a mentor, get access to an international network, and then also to participate in innovation and start talks and digital skills programs. I must say that at this point, this activity will be open for everybody. And then to the end is you will have the chance to present your success case in the Tourbit final conference in Barcelona. So this is all from my side. So now I give the floor to Leonie from the Chamber of Commerce. So Leonie, please.
Thank you, Blanca. Okay, my name, as Blanca already said, is Leonie. I'm from the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to introduce you to the more formal criteria of this call. Now that we have gotten an overview by Blanca, we can dig a bit deeper into the formalities and the requirements of this call. So what I want to address with you is basically who can apply, what are we expecting from you, how are you supposed to do it, how much you get and what for, and when you cannot apply. So first of all, the more formal criteria. So who can apply to this call? First of all, you need to make sure that you are a small and medium-sized enterprise. There is a specific definition given by the European Commission on who qualifies as such. Basically, it depends on how many employees you have, what is called the staff head count here. You can have up to 250 employees. And the second criterion is either your turnover or your balance sheet total, which can be up to 50 million. This doesn't mean that it needs to be 50 million. So everything below that threshold means that you qualify as an SME. This also means that even companies that have only one employee do qualify as an SME. They qualify as a so-called micro enterprise. It also is important to mention that it, let's say, it is irrespective of your legal form, if you are an enterprise or not. It is just important that you are engaged in an economic activity. This means that also associations, for example, do qualify as enterprises under this definition, okay? What is important is that you need to be registered officially as a company. So we cannot fund any natural persons under this call. If you have any doubt on whether you qualify as an SME or not, you can contact us and we try to orient you. Next slide, please. So the second criteria, and Blanca already mentioned this before, is the territory where your SME, where your company is registered. There are 7 territories: Catalonia, France, Slovenia, Belgium, Lapland, Iceland, and Portugal. The third criteria that you need to comply with is that you need to be registered under one of these categories, which go according to the so-called NACE codes. So you need to be registered either as a hotel or similar accommodation, as a holiday or short stay accommodation, as a camping ground, recreational vehicle park, or a trailer park, or as a travel agency, a tour operator, reservation service, or a related activity. This is very important that you are officially registered under one of these NACE codes, okay? If you don't know what a NACE code is, or if you don't know which your respective NACE code is, or if you have a national equivalent of the NACE code and you don't know to which it corresponds, all this kind of things, don't worry, contact us, we can help you out, okay? Then a few important facts that you also need to keep in mind. You can only submit individual project proposals. That means that you cannot sum up with other entities and submit a joint proposal. It needs to be you as an individual enterprise who submits a proposal. And a few more formal criteria: that you cannot have received financial support from one of the other projects that are financed under the same program by the European Commission. Here you can see the names of those projects. If you have never heard about them, don't worry, this means that you have not received financial support from them, but you can obviously also check them out. They have also other interesting opportunities, all related to innovation and digitalization for the tourism sector. You can also not be declared bankrupt or have shown any fraudulent behavior in the past or be under a liquidation process. Pretty straightforward. Hope that no one is under any of those conditions. Then important, what do we expect from you under this call? So we have highlighted a few subjects that you may address. Basically, there are 3 of them. One is related to your internal processes, the other is related to your client relations and your online presence, and the third is related to products or services using digital technologies. So here we have just highlighted a few examples of what, for example, could relate to improving your digitalization or automatization in your internal processes. This, for example, may relate to your workspace. It may relate to using data analytics to improve some of your internal processes, or data management, or to improve your cybersecurity. You can also focus on digital marketing. You can focus on implementing a CRM, improve your website, especially, for example, also in terms of accessibility. Or you can focus on some more fancy stuff and, for example, use IoT or augmented virtual reality, blockchain, etc. Okay, so these are a few, let's say, examples of what you can do. But here, really, it's very open as long as you stay within, these subjects that we have defined. Then, now we have seen what subjects we want to you to address. Here, it's more focused on how you are supposed to address those subjects. So what activities you are supposed to do with the funding that you get from us. So you can either focus on digital strategies and action plans. That means that anything that has to do with planning and establishing like a way of implementation for a certain activity, for example, related to improving your internal processes in terms of digitalization. Here also, we wanted to highlight that it's important, or it's an added value if you can focus on responsible digitalization, meaning use of resources, always have that type of criteria in mind. Then the second point is the improvement of your capacities, or your staff capacities in digitalization. So as we know, it's always very important that you don't only have tools implemented, but that people also know how to use these tools. So it can be an important aspect to improve the capacities of your staff members. You can use coaching, mentoring, online courses, etc. And the third point is the implementation of digital tools and solutions, especially including standardization, for example, standardization of processes, or compliance adaptation, for example, that can have to do with data protection, GDPR, etc. Okay, so important when it comes to the use of digital tools and solutions that you need, especially if you want to purchase a specific, for example, software, then it's very important that you embed that in a larger project of digitalization and justify very clearly why you need this digital tool. Okay. So a few more important points to keep in mind in that sense. So first of all, it is very important that you understand that we are giving these funds out to you so you can implement a project with the support of a service provider. It can be either one or several service providers. So they can be mentors, they can be experts, they can be consultants, they can be providers of a specific technology or innovation providers, right? These providers, they have to be pre-approved by us. This means that they have to submit an application to us, and then we, if they comply with the criteria that we have established, approve them, and they enter a so-called pool of service providers. And you will, if your project is approved, be able to pick your service providers from that pool. Apart from that, it's also important that you keep in mind that the project duration is 10 months. So you have to propose a project which is feasible to implement it in this time frame of 10 months. And the amount that you get is a fixed amount of 8,000 or 9,000 euros, depending on the territory you come from. So always keep in mind that the project that you propose needs to have this, let's say, value. So we will evaluate it from a cost efficiency point of view. Okay, it's a fixed amount, so this is the amount that you will get for your project. So try to propose something that has a good relation, no? Like, let's say what you offer is related to the amount of money that you will receive. Then it's also important that with your project, you very clearly improve the digitalization of your SME. This is something that seems to be very evident, but please keep that in mind. And we also want to highlight that we want to support projects that entail a learning process for your company on digitalization. So please don't see it as an isolated subsidy that you get to implement an isolated activity, and then this is it. It should be like give you an impulse to improve your digitalization, and should be ideally be just one step in a larger journey, in a larger effort that you will make as organization to digitalize yourself. It should ideally also have some innovative aspects, and we also like to see, let's say, what we call the strengthening of the European tourism ecosystem, which means that you should highlight that you are using solutions that have been developed in the European Union, service providers from the European Union, etc. This is an extra, let's say, but it's something that we also like to see because we're funded by the European Union. So it's kind of evident thing that we would like to see. So let's talk a bit about the financial aspects of the call as well. So as Blanca has mentioned before already, there is a fixed amount per country or per company, depending on the country, on the territory that the company is, or comes from. So for Belgium, for Lapland, and for Iceland, it's 9,000 euros per company. And for companies from Catalonia, Slovenia, France, and Portugal, it's 8,000 euros per company. Again, I'm repeating this, but it's a fixed amount that is granted to you, and it's based on a lump sum. So meaning that if you deliver the results, you will get the money. We will not look into invoices. We try to avoid paper work wherever we can. So this is the way this money is granted to you. As regards to the cost eligibility, you can finance the fees for service providers that come from the pool of service providers, as I have just mentioned before. You can finance training and capacity building, and you can finance digital tools and solutions or software for standardization and compliance adaptation. This relates very much to the activities that I have just presented before. Here again, keep in mind, if you want to finance digital tools and solutions, justify very well why you need them and how they form part, or how this investment forms part of a bigger digitalization effort that you are making. So we don't want you just to purchase something. No, we want you to propose a project that has a learning aspect behind, that has, follows, let's say, a journey, a strategy of digitalization for your company. What you cannot finance with this subsidy is investments in physical infrastructure, so anything that is hardware or works, consumable goods, and you can also not finance internal staff costs. So everything is to contract service providers, training, or digital tools, okay? So just a few more administrative and formal requirements for participation. There can only be one application per SME. You have to submit it before the deadline, which is the 5th of April. It needs to be complete, obviously. So you need to submit all the required documentation, and you need to submit it through the official online submission system that Sandra will explain you right in a minute from now. We cannot accept paper printed versions or projects submitted via email, for example. It needs to go through the official online submission system. All of these are pretty evident points as well. So just to sum up, again, who can participate in this call? You need to be a SME, you need to be registered in the right destination, and you need to have a specific NACE code. You have to propose one of the activities that are highlighted in the call to improve the digitalization of your company. You have to do this through the support of a service provider that comes from our pool. You will get 8,000 or 9,000 euros to do this. And basically, you just have to play by the rules, what I just mentioned. Submit it in time, complete through the right system, etc. So that's it. I'll hand over now the word to Sandra, who will explain you how the application process goes. So where you have to submit your proposal, etc.
Thank you, Leonie, very much. So hello, good morning. I'm Sandra de Puig, and I work for the Catalan Tourism Board for the European Projects Department. And I would like to, so we had a look now, Blanca give us an overview on the insights of the call for proposal. Leonie has give all these specifications regarding to the eligibility criteria. And now we wanted to guide you through the application process, which, as Leonie was mentioning, is going to be online. So let me see if it works. We're going to go to the website. So the idea is that we guide you a little bit on the practical side. So what are you going to experience when doing the application form, okay? So first of all, as we were saying, when you go to the Tourbit project website, you have here a section that is called calls, and here you will find the call for SMEs is where you need to go in order to get all the guidelines we were mentioning, and also to be connected to the application online form. As you can see here, there is the frequently asked questions also section where you can have a look, because we are already including most of the questions that are being requested by you. So this can also help to solve some of the problems that you, or some of the questions that you may encounter. So here in the section call for proposals for SMEs, where you should go, we really encourage to take a careful read to all what we are saying. It's again a summary of what we just mentioned, but very important is this document, which is called Guidelines for Applicants. You would click, and here is where you will find all the information related to the call for proposal. So here you would see everything related to the objectives, all the eligibility criteria that Leonie just mentioned, the application procedure, how you should do it, when you should do it, what information do we need. You can also have a look to the evaluation and selection procedure. This is something that later on Leonie would explain, and also the post-award process. You have a little summary on the timetable, and then you have also to read, because it's important that you accept all the personal data and confidentiality rights. Okay, so this is what you must read and take a very careful look to it before submitting or starting to work on your project proposal. Then here you can have a read on what we are mentioning, but at the end it's a summary again of what Leonie and Blanca just shared with us. And here is where you see how to apply. So it says clearly again, read the guidance for applicants. Then it says go through the online application system. I will show you in a second, and use the online application form. We will see also in a second. But before doing that, it's important to do two things. One, you need to assess your digitalization or your digital maturity. This means that you need to click here and go to the Tourbit Digital Readiness Index. This is a form that basically is going to help you to understand what is your status of digitalization. Once you're going to comply this form, you will receive a report that is going to look more or less like that, more or less, because maybe that's when we have made some little improvements. you will receive this report. And this report is important that you save it because you will need it for the online application process.
Sorry, Sandra, to interrupt.
Sarah, yes, Sandra,
again.
it looks like it's frozen.
Now also you see it frozen.
We
I
only
think
see
the-
the slide is how to apply.
So then it's a bit challenging because I need to change constantly and choose constantly where I want to go. Okay, thank you. So now, do you see the DRI, Blanca?
Yes, yes, now it's the DRI there.
Okay, thank you. So it's good if you tell me, okay?
Yeah,
Thanks.
okay, don't worry.
Thanks. So here's where I wanted to show you. This is the DRI, and this is the kind of report that you will see. It's gonna be a bit challenging. It's not so smooth to do it this way, but at least you have a look, okay? So once you will reply to the DRI, you will receive a report that is gonna look like that. And this is where you will have all the information on what is your status on digitalization and what recommendations we are giving you. This can be helpful to prepare your project proposal. And this is something that you need also to upload when submitting your application form. So it's important that you store it and you know where it is to find it when you're doing your online application form, okay? So then I'm going back. I hope. Okay, let me just 1 second. I am going back again to our website, which is here. Okay, so that's what we have been doing. We've been going to the Digital Readiness Index that I've shown you now. The other thing that you need to do is also to register to the Tourbit community. There is the community where we're gonna post all the information related to the Digital Acceleration Program, is where the service providers are gonna be having a profile, and where you are gonna be able in a second stage to read their profile and then to contact them. And is where is the channel, let's say, of communication where you will be receiving all the information also on the Digital Acceleration Program and also on the other activities we are undertaking within the Tourbit project. Okay, so again, you would click here and then you will go. I imagine I need to stop and to share again. Okay, here is you will go. Welcome to the Tourbit community, and then you will need to request to join. It's very fast. You request to join, we approve you, and then you're going to be able to be already in the community. Okay. So now, okay, let me go back to the website. Okay. So you've read the guidelines for applicants. You've submitted or you've replied to the Digital Readiness Index, and you have already joined the Tourbit community. Okay, so then what you should do is to download the application form template. So again, sorry, I need to stop. 1 second, let me find documents. Okay, so now you are here. I'm gonna select the document. I hope I would do it. Okay. Okay, here it is. Right. And that's the application form, the templates. Okay. So this is what you are gonna be using in order to draft your project proposal. Okay. So here you you will need to draft what is the project summary, what does your company do. So we would like to have first some information on who are you, what are you working on, what is your digitalization challenge. So what do you aim to solve through this project proposal? How do you propose to solve this? So what do you need? What will you be able to achieve? So as we said, this is a project that is going to be implemented during 10 months. So what are you aiming to achieve during this 10 months? What is the kind of support you are looking for? So what do you need this money for at the end? and what is the capacity that you have. Okay. So here it's this information that you need to type. You see that there is a maximum of characters that you are allowed to write. And this is what you then need to comply. Okay, you have some explanation into each of the sections to give you some ideas on what we're looking for. So the project summary, provide a concise and comprehensive summary on your project idea. What does your company do? So explain what you are doing. Explain what is the challenge that your company is facing and how would you like to solve it through digital solution. How do you propose to solve your challenge? How would you like to address this challenge, and how do you propose to solve it? Through one or through several activities listed in the digital, in the call for proposal. So from the different activities that Leonie mentioned, you can pick one, you can pick several of them. Okay. What do you aim to achieve? So here, ideally, what we would like to know is exactly what are the results that you would like to have after the implementation of the project. What is the support that you need in order to implement? And this support is going to be given through the service provider, as we have been saying. And what is the internal capacity that you have? Okay, so we are asking also here to give us some explanation on who is working with you, who are you, what is the staff that you have that is going to be working on the implementation of this project proposal. Okay, so then you will store this application form into a PDF, and then you would go here to the apply now, and then is where you're gonna have the online application form. It's a bit tricky to be sharing and unsharing constantly, so I'm sorry it's not being as smooth as we were hoping, but that's how it is. Okay, so here it is. That's the application form. And this is why at this moment, when you arrive into this point, you will need to have with you what we mentioned, the DRI, you will need to, the PDF, you will need to have also completed the template that I was showing to you and store it into a PDF. You would have also to have with you the curriculums from yourself or from your team. So have everything ready before submitting this online application form. So here you will need to check what is your country region, what is your official name of your company, your commercial name of the company in case you have one, what is the full name of your company legal representative, what is the email, what is the contact person and the email of the contact person. We are also asking to have a phone number just in case, the official address, your VAT number, the website, and any personal or company LinkedIn in case you have. Then we want you to select what kind of SME you are and your NACE code, what category you are registered in. And then you need to upload here the Digital Readiness Index report. You need to attach it. You need to also to link what is the Tourbit profile. And you need also to attach one or you are able to attach up to 3 curriculums. You are attaching also here in a PDF form the template of the application form that I was showing you now, and click on the personal data processes authorization and submit. Okay, that's going to be the process. So now I'm going to start again on the presentation. Are you seeing the slides? Blanca?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Sandra.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you. So that's a summary on what are the steps. Okay, you have them all here. We have been going through them. You need to read that Tourbit call for SMEs, join the Tourbit community, do the Digital Readiness Index, download the application form template, prepare the project proposal, and save the application form template as a PDF. Fill in the online application form with all these documents and submit it before the 5th of April. Okay. So now, after giving you some guidelines on all that that is related to the call for proposal, we would like also to put some faces into the names. So as you know, we have been saying that we have some local contact points. These are the project partners. The project partners, we are all aiming to support you into this process. We are aiming that this process is successful and it's easy for you. So we are here to facilitate and to support you in this process. So besides reading all this documentation and having a look to the frequently asked questions section, you can also always contact your local contact point. So now we are going to little by little be giving the floor to the contact points of the Tourbit project. So first of all, I think that from the first slide is from Catalonia. So you already met Leonie and myself. We are the contact points for Catalonia, working in the Catalan Tourism Board and in the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce. So here we are at your service. Now I would like to give the floor. I would like to give the floor to Paris & Co. From local contact point of France. I think Marie is there, or Anna.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello,
So I'm
Marie.
working for Paris & Co, which is the National Innovation Agency of France. I'm working specifically at Paris & Co Tourism. Maybe you knew it as Welcome City Lab, and we changed name. So we are working every year with between 30 and 40 startups in tourism, and also with national partners. And all together, we are aiming to develop the future of tourism in France. I will be really happy to help you with your translation in English. For example, we can have meetings whenever you want, and I can go through all of that in French if needed. So do not hesitate to contact me if you need SMEs and also mentors of France.
Thank you very much, Marie. Sorry, I skipped it. So now from Slovenia, we are having a partner, Artur. I think Vesna is here with us.
Hello.
Hi, Vesna.
Hello. I'm Vesna Kobal, and I come from Arctur. I'm Chief Technology Officer for Tourism 4PM, and I will be assisting tourism SMEs with your application. Arctur is the initiator and leader of Tourism 4.0 initiative, and we are unlocking innovation potential through collaboration between all stakeholders and creating smart tourism ecosystem to create enriched experience. So if you have any questions about the call for SMEs, do not hesitate to contact me. I will gladly help you and walk you through it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so there's a typo here. I'm not going to be constantly changing it. We will do this later on, I think. So the local contact point for Belgium, it's the Hub Brussels. Veronique, hello, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Veronique. I'm working for Hub Brussels. It's the Brussels Agency for Business Support. And I'm in charge of the cluster Hospitality Brussels that you may know. It's a network of 100 companies in the sectors tourism, event, and culture. I will be your contact point in Belgium to help you, advise you with your application for a digital project. So do not hesitate to contact me. If you have a project in digitalization, let's meet. And we also have some information about the call in French and in Dutch on the website hospitality.brussels. So don't hesitate.
Thank you very much, Veronique. So now we are moving to Lapland, where we have the Lapland University of Applied Science, which is our partner. I think Eija or Anu are joining us.
Hi, everybody, and regards from the Arctic Circle from Lapland. We are two contact persons here in Finland, in Lapland. My name is Eija Raasakka.
And my name is Anu Harju-Mylluaho.
Ja olipa kysymys SME-hausta tai sitten tuosta eksperttihausta, niin me ollaan sitten kontaktihenkilöitä. So you can contact us in Finnish and in English. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are still in the north and we are going to Iceland, where we have the Iceland Tourism Cluster, and I think Asta or David are joining right now.
Yes, hi. Nice to be with you here. We will be supporting the SMEs in Iceland, both myself and David, which is located in the north. And we have also got support from the Iceland Tourism Board and from the DMOs all around Iceland. So we will make it a broad partnership also. So ekki hika við að hafa samband við okkur ef ykkur vantar hjálp þarna úti. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going south to Portugal, where we have the Tourism Innovation Center, NEST. Marta, hello.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So I'm Marta. I'm your contact point for Portugal, and we'll be glad to help with any questions. Feel free to ask. We are always available, not only on this email, but as well on NEST, on the other email, nest.innovtourism.com. So feel free to call us.
Thank you, Marta. Okay, so now you put the faces to the names, so you know where to find your local contact points. Don't hesitate to contact them, so they will support you. Leonie, back to you with the evaluation and post-award procedure.
Thank you very much, Sandra. It felt a tiny little bit like Eurovision, no? So nice to,
but it was nice.
yeah, hear all the different languages. So thank you to all the partners from all over the places. So let's have a look into the evaluation and post-award procedures. So this should give you an idea on what we will focus on when we evaluate your project and how the whole process goes. So first of all, once we have received all your project proposals, we will check them for eligibility. This means that we will check if you comply with all the formal requirements. For example, if your company really exists, if you have submitted all the required documents, if you filled all the fields, etc. Then the next step is the technical evaluation of your proposal. This means that we will look into your project proposal. If it makes sense, if it's cost efficient, if you have the capacity to implement it, etc. And then once we have given you the scores, I will get back to this in a moment from now and explain you a bit more on what the specific criteria are. Then we will have a list, a ranking of the best proposals, and you will be selected and awarded according to your ranking. Then after that, we might have a tiny little negotiation with the awarded companies. Let's say if you have proposed something that we think is not perfectly feasible, or it might cost too much or too little, we might propose you to change tiny little aspects of your project without changing the essence of it, because you have been evaluated on basis of that proposal, okay? So that is the idea. Once that's done, there might be no negotiation at all. So if your project is perfectly fine, should be the case for the most of the proposals, then there is no negotiation at all. And you go directly to the signature of your grant contract. That is just the terms, the legal terms of receiving this subsidy, and you have to submit a few more documents. For example, a declaration of honor where you confirm that you're not bankrupt, that you have not committed any fraud, etc. Right? And after that, there will be what we've called the matchathon. This is an event where we will help you to find the right service provider for you from the pool. We had a few questions already in the chat regarding this pool of service providers, if it's already available or not. So just to tell you that at this very moment, service providers are submitting their applications to the pool, and we're admitting them on a rolling basis. So the pool is growing bit by bit, okay, but for the moment you don't have access to it yet. We're trying to figure out the best solution, how to give you access to the pool and to give you access as soon as possible, at the very latest, once you have submitted and be awarded your proposal, right? The thing is that if you go through that pool and find that there is no service provider that's suitable for you, then you or we can approve and admit additional service providers to the pool if they comply with the requirements, etc. So they have to go through the official approval procedure, obviously, but we can admit these service providers until the end of May, okay? Just if you have any service provider in mind that you would like to work with, then please make them submit their proposals as soon as possible, okay? As the sooner we have them, the better for everyone. All right, so let's check again the technical evaluation criteria. So there are 4 main criteria which have a different weight. So the most important is the relevance. So we want you to submit something that is really important and makes sense for your company. So this is based on the question where you have to explain what your challenge is. So what is the problem that you want to solve in your company through digitalization? Then if you can relate that to industry trends so that you're really going, let's say, with the flow, where the trend is going, and that you are proposing an effective measure effective activities to solve this challenge. This is also important for the relevance, and that it's evident that you will be able to make progress in terms of digitalization with this project that you're proposing. Then there is 10% for the innovation of your proposal. So if there is an innovative aspect, it's very positive. But let's say if you're just proposing something that is really state of the art and many people are doing it, but it also simply makes sense for your company, that's perfectly right as well. Then the third criteria is impact with 20% of weighting, which will be evaluated in terms of environmental, social, and economic impact, okay? Always from the point of view of your company, and also the scalability and the contribution to the tourism industry. So what's the impact on a larger scale? Can it serve as a good example for other companies, etc. And at the end, there is also the implementation as a criteria. So this is basically the capacity that you have as an SME, as a company, to implement this project. This means that you have sufficient staff availability, that your staff is qualified. Usually you can prove that. We also had a question in the chat regarding that. You can prove that simply via their work experience or their academic background, etc. So we're not super strict on that, okay? So if you have a sufficient capacity to implement it, it will be just right. So, but it is just a formality that we need to know that you have the right people in your staff to implement this project. And it's also the issue of cost effectiveness and cost efficiency plays into this criteria, and if it fits the overall strategy and business model of your company. You have to reach a minimum score of 3/5, and you are awarded based on a country-based ranking. Okay, this means that for every country, there is an individual ranking, okay? And just if we don't reach sufficient companies in one country, let's say companies from an overall country independent ranking will be awarded. All right, just a very quick overview on the reporting procedures and the payment. This is really just relevant if you are awarded, so don't worry about that too much. If you're awarded, we will go into this again and explain it in detail. But for now, just keep in mind that there will be, let's say, 3 reportings that you will have to undergo. The first is after 2 months, where you just have to give a little feedback, how it is going. And you will get 20% of the grant upfront, okay, right on a signature of the grant contract. So this is after month 1, let's say. And then there is a midterm report halfway through. After the midterm report, you will get another 30% of the grant. And at the end, there is the final report where you will get another 50% of the grant at the very end. once you have completed your project. So let's just look into the calendar. So again, we opened the call on 1st of February. Today we have the info session. You can hand in official questions, let's say, until 7 days before the closure of the call. We will close the call, and that's the most important date, on the 5th of April at 5. Then we will take some 6 weeks for the evaluation. We will inform you if you have been awarded on the 18th of May. And then there will be 6 weeks where you will have time to get all the documents ready, sign the contract with us, and pick your service providers. And then we will start the program on the 15th of June. It will last for 10 months, as we have mentioned before. So it will end on the 14th of April next year. That's it. I'll hand over to Sandra again. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonie. So just before closing, we would like to share with you this important moment that is going to be the Tourbit Marathon, because we would like you that already you save it into your agenda. So that's going to happen between the 1st and the 2nd of June. It's going to take place these 2 days, but it's going to be half a day every day. So in total, it would be around 8 hours, but we will split them in 2 days. One day 4 hours, the other day 4 hours, more or less. That's gonna work, how it's gonna work. So as Leonie was showing you within this process, you were seeing there the marathon. So the marathon is a kind of a crucial moment for the tourism SMEs that have been awarded. They will have the opportunity to meet the service provider in this kind of competition, let's say, activity that we are proposing. So the idea is that we're gonna take the challenges that the SMEs awarded have been drafting or have been proposing in their project proposal. So these problems, these challenges that they are having and that they would like to solve through some expertise or digital related to digitalization, to innovation, or some technological solutions. And therefore, this marathon is gonna invite, let's say, the services providers that are having some technological solutions or some expertise related to these challenges to see how they could potentially solve them in order to ideally find a match between these SMEs that have been awarded and that have already exposed their problem with the service providers that are within the pool of services providers of Tourbit that have potential solutions to these challenges. Okay, so that's the idea of the marathon, that within 2 days we would like to help you in this adventure of the SMEs on finding your service provider that could better fit the purpose of the challenge and of your project. Okay, so that's a little bit how it's gonna look like. There are gonna be awards. We're working a bit more in detail on that, but for sure we would have some entries for the 4 years for now, which is happening in the framework of the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona in 2024. So the idea more or less of these 2 days would be that on the first day, we will have some introduction on the trends, what are the top technologies that are currently in place and how they are also enabling tourism SMEs within their processes, within the products, within their online presence, for example. We would then have the pitches of the services providers replying to the challenges of the tourism SMEs. And you will have some time, tourism SMEs, to book your agendas with those services providers that are the ones that suit you the best and that you find it more interesting. And then that next day is where we're going to have these meetings between the SMEs and the services providers to see if there are going to be any matches. Those matches that are going to happen there and those ideas that are going to be created during these meetings would be presented, and then is when we would have the awards. So this is going to be further explained along the weeks, but it's important for us that you already put this in your agenda so you save this 1st and 2nd of June. And now, before closing, this is the timetable conclusion, let's say, so that it's important for you to have in mind. Leonie just go through it the previous slide, but just for you to bear in mind, the deadline for submission is the 5th of April. Then you would have the notification on the award the 18th of May, the Matchathon online, that is going to be the 1st and 2nd on June, and the start of the project implementation 15th of June. And this is going to be all developed until the 14th of April of next year, 2024. So before closing, we would like to give the floor to Blanca, so she would give us some closing words.
Thank you, Sandra. 2 minutes past 12. Quite good, quite sharp. Quite on time. So please, I hope you have pencil in your agenda, the dates that just now Sandra has explained to you. So I hope, and we all hope, you have found this info session interesting and useful for you. So just I want to recall you that every Tuesday from now on at 11 o'clock, we are going to have a meeting with all of you. If you have any requests, any question, any doubts, we will be there. And all this information and the data information regarding these meetings and other things, you will find it in the Tourbit community. So now, if you want to stay, we are going to stay the partners 30 minutes more. In any case, if you have any question or whatsoever, so we are here. So really, thank you very much. Thank you for attending this info session. I think, and we are all trust that this is very good opportunity for all tourism SMEs from our destination. So take advantage of that and go ahead. Thank you. And we are here now.
Thank you.
Yes, by the way, you can also, if you want, raise your hand, and if you want to say something and not write your question in the chat, you raise your hand and we give you the floor. So you'll be able to speak as well, if this is what you prefer. You can also otherwise type your questions in the chat. As we said, we will remain here for, let's say, as long as there are still questions. I think we had many questions already in the chat, 45 questions from what I can see here that we have already responded in the chat. We will also share the questions, by the way, in an FAQ section that will be on our website very soon. So for all the questions that are relevant for everyone, we will publish them on our website so everyone can also see the answers. We will also take the questions that you have posted today in the chat and respond them again officially for everyone.
So is there any question you want to raise? We are going to send the presentation. You are keeping asking that. We are going to send the presentation, and also you will find the presentation in the Tourbit community and the Tourbit website, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, we still have a few questions in the chat. There is one question I would like to address maybe here. It says, to evaluate the project, it is necessary to obtain 35 out of 50 points. How can these points be obtained? Okay, important point here, because we have changed the scale of the evaluation. The updated one is will be online from today, where instead of having points from 0 to 10, you will have points from 0 to 5. Okay, so this is why you might ask yourself how this sums up. So it's not that we're not able to do the math. It's just that there has been a change. So it's a scale from 1 to 5 for criteria, which makes 20 instead of 50. Okay, points. So please be aware of that. We will post a message on that on our website. When will be the full list of providers available? So as I said before, we are just now approving the providers on a rolling basis. We are not sure on the specific date when we will publish the list. We will publish it inside the Tourbit community. So there you will be able to see the providers, and we will update the list as providers come in. I cannot give you a specific date, but we will try to make that available as soon as possible. Just be aware that service providers are like just applying at the moment. So the list will be extended as they apply. Okay, so if you just let's say look at the first list, this will not be the final list of the providers, because it will be growing over time. How many service providers will you approve max? Sandra, you want to respond to that question?
There's no limit, no service providers number. So
no limit.
There's no limit. So we are approving them on the basis of their on the eligibility criteria, but there is no limit. So as many as they want.
There is a question, I'm not quite sure if I get it right. It says, sorry, I missed the start. So we can create a Tourbit account and we'll have access to the resources there. If
so
maybe I'm
this community that you are meaning.
Yes, probably you refer to the Tourbit community. There you can create an account for free. And this is where we will publish the profiles of the service providers. There are also other things happening there as events, webinars. You can get in touch with all the other members from the community. We will always post like relevant information for the sector there. So in that sense, yes, you have access to the resources if this is what you refer to by resources.
Yeah. Okay, there's more questions.
Do the service providers have to be companies or can they be a freelancer? They can be freelancers. Either companies or freelancers, both are accepted. So there is a question. If we have a project that can be acquired by different SMEs, example, the project costs 36,000 euros, but can be implemented in 4 different candidates. Can it be possible if all meet the requirements evaluation criteria? So as I said before, in principle, it's one digitalization project per company, no joint submissions, okay? So you can still, like the 4 of us, submit your projects individually, but they should make sense as isolated projects, okay? And if you are lucky, the 4 of you will get awarded. But we will not approve the projects as joint projects or as projects that have a relation with one another, okay?
Okay. So there's another question. How will the process of choosing the service provider after the matchathon? Will it be a form of something like that? So the thing is that as soon as the SMEs are awarded, you will have access to the service providers pool at the latest. So at this moment already, the latest it would be the 18th of May, you would have access to the pool of service providers. From there, you can already start looking for them and can already be in contact with them. The matchathon is going to be an activity that is the aim is to support you in finding the service provider. It's not compulsory to join the matchathon. It's not maybe the only way of finding your service provider. It's really an activity that aims to provide you this opportunity of meeting the services providers and maybe doing this match and then working together for the implementation. So that is how it's going to be the process. So from the 18th of May, you would have the access to the pool of service providers. You can contact them, read their profile and contact them. You can participate to the matchathon and meet them. And as soon as you would make the match, let's say that you will find your one or several service providers that are fitting the purpose of your project, then you will have this this process, let's say, where you would be working on, you would be developing the how we call it, the contract, no? We call it, Leonie.
An agreement, yeah.
The
We call it an agreement. It's not a contract, it's an agreement. We will give you template and you will fill it in, make an agreement with your service providers, yeah, on what you expect them to provide to you as service, the cost, etc. So, but this is an agreement in between you and the service provider, okay? It can be either one or several service providers. So if you have several service providers, it's individual agreements. There is a question on how many suppliers, freelancers have been approved so far.
Yeah. Marion,
we've got around 15 from now. 50
around
50 have been approved.
50, 50, no?
50.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay. And no more questions at the moment.
So if there are not any more questions, I would suggest to finish here for today.
Yes, last chance. Questions, you can still raise your hand. Don't be shy. This is your opportunity for a direct answer to your question. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Just be aware that we will have the questions and answers session every Tuesday. So if something comes up, yeah, or comes to your mind right after we close this webinar, don't worry, you can contact us. You can also just dial in again next week or the week after, and we'll be there.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
And we keep in touch.
Bye. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.